The experts, the so-called ones, at least, keep circling back to one spot, left tackle. They point at it like it's this flashing red alarm on the Dolphins' depth chart. They go on and on about how it's this glaring weakness. Some names always pop up. Mel Kiper Jr., Mike Tannenbaum, a few others hiding behind anonymous league sources. The common thread? Left tackle is, apparently, a problem. They say it without hesitation, like it's already been proven. But has it? You start to wonder where this noise is even coming from. Is it a lack of film? A lack of trust? Or maybe just a lack of patience? Because if we're being real, and we might as well be, this narrative around Patrick Paul doesn't add up. It's like people are waiting for him to fail before he's even had a chance to show what he's really about. The guy was drafted late in the second round, not as a desperation pick, not as a shot in the dark, but with a clear purpose. The plan was always for him to be the one who steps in after Terron Armstead. Not immediately, but eventually. That was the blueprint. And now, eventually might be turning into right now. What changed? Is it just because Armstead is taking time to figure things out? Is it because Paul didn't light the world on fire in his limited reps? Or is it just easier to doubt a second-year player than to wait and see what he becomes? It's strange, because if you actually watched the games where Paul stepped in, really watched, not just glanced at some lazy grading system, you'd see something different. You'd see a rookie who wasn't overwhelmed, who didn't look like the moment was too big, who didn't get beat on every snap or look lost. That matters, doesn't it? He started 3 games. Not a ton, sure, but not nothing either. And in those games, did he dominate? No. But who does right out the gate? Rookie left tackles don't usually roll in and start pancaking Pro Bowlers. That's not how it works. They struggle. They adjust. They find their feet. And then, if they're built for it, they grow. So why are we pretending Paul already failed? You look at how the Dolphins handled things last year, and the message was clear. They were going to throw Armstead into the fire every week. They kept him on ice as much as they could, protected him, spaced out his reps, took it slow, which meant someone else had to get those snaps. And Paul, he was right there, working with the first team, getting game speed looks in preseason, learning, getting ready. They didn't plug in just anyone when Armstead was out. They didn't go to a safer, older option like Kendall Lamb unless they absolutely had to. No, they trusted Paul. That says something. It says the coaching staff saw something worth investing in, worth developing. But here we are, not even a full season into his career, and already some folks are trying to write him off. Because of what exactly? Some grades? Some anonymous quotes? You've got to ask yourself, when did we stop trusting our eyes? When did we stop allowing young players room to fail a little before we judge them entirely? This kid is 6 feet 7 inches, 330 pounds. That's not just size for the sake of size. He moves well for that frame. He's not just a big guy standing still. There's motion, fluidity. That doesn't come easy. It's rare. It's valuable. He's raw, yeah. But what second-round tackle isn't? Look back at the Laramie Tunsil story. People seem to remember how good he is now, but forget how shaky that transition was at first. Tunsil didn't slide into the league and dominate. He had to find his game, deal with pressure, learn. First at guard, then at left tackle. It wasn't smooth, but it clicked eventually. Why not give Paul that same space? And let's not act like the Dolphins haven't made moves to help young linemen improve. Butchberry has done real work. Austin Jackson turned the corner. It wasn't immediate. It took time, coaching, trust. Why would Paul be any different? If anything, he's built for this, physically, mentally, developmentally. The infrastructure is there. Of course, he has things to clean up. Everyone does. His footwork can be a little off against the quicker edge guys. His balance needs attention when he gets too upright. And yes, his run blocking could use more pop. But we're not talking about problems that can't be fixed. These aren't red flags. They're yellow ones. Areas to improve. And guess what? Most rookies live in that yellow zone for a while. The trick is, do they respond? Do they study, train, adjust? From everything coming out of camp, Paul's got that mindset. Quiet. Work first. He's not flashing headlines or making noise on social. He's just there, trying to be ready, trying to make the leap from developmental piece to the guy. Maybe that's not exciting enough for some people. Maybe some folks need drama to pay attention. Maybe steady progress doesn't fit the headline. But that doesn't mean it isn't happening. There's also this idea floating around that Miami must draft another tackle high this year, that they need to protect Tua, and that starts with replacing a guy who's barely played. But if you draft another tackle, what does that say to Paul? What does it do to his arc? Are you giving him the reps he needs to grow? Or are you stunting his shot before he even gets going?